What's up, y'all? I want to show y'all a conversation that we had this week when we went out to go street preach. We got into conversations about your identity as a Christian, finding your call, what's it like to date as a Christian, and just Christian YouTube as a whole. I'm going to plug it at the end of this video, and I think that it'll bless y'all, and I'll catch y'all later. God bless.
Has the Lord revealed to you what was the end of the road for you? Or was 5 years in the future?
I don't fully think he revealed it to its entirety, obviously, but I'll tell you what I used to believe when I was younger. I used to believe that the Lord was gonna make me a pastor. When I was younger, I used to want to be a pastor, which is weird for like a 12-year-old, 13-year-old to want to do. I always wanted to be a basketball player, and I wanted to be a pastor. And I feel like the Lord revealed being a preacher to me more than a pastor, because I feel like I have the gifts along preaching. I feel like I can preach pretty good when it's presented to me. So I feel like the Lord's revealed that to me. But as far as like 5 years down the line, what I'm gonna be doing in the Lord, I'm not sure specifically, but I know it'll be along the lines of like preaching. That's all he's really revealed to me.
I think the Lord had me to be an evangelist of some sort, whether it be in the jails or on the streets, or really both. But I know the first things first, I need to stay in the book.
For sure.
I need to stay in the Bible, and the Lord's gonna build me up, and there's no way you can rush it. The Lord's gonna make it at His appointed times, and I just trust Him. And I think I do believe that He showed me the end, but now he hasn't shown me every single.
How are you gonna get there?
Yeah.
I believe that. I believe you do have to stay in the Word, because you'll be more staunch in what you're talking about. And also, if you try to rush and exalt yourself and rush the process of God, then you're gonna trip, you're gonna stumble, and then you're gonna look foolish in front of people. Just like Mark talked about, like I want to say a couple weeks ago, like you can't rush the process. You can't stop being a teacher. You can't stop being a preacher. You can't stop teaching the Word of God just because you're having a bad day, a bad season, or if stuff's just not going right. Because you were the one that started doing that so early. You put yourself in a position. You know what I'm saying? So it's like there's a lot of people out here that want to exalt themselves as teachers and preachers and pastors and things of these natures, and ministers, but they're not ready. They haven't been in this. They haven't been in the Word enough. But it's good to humble yourself enough to know that you need to be in the Word. So when it's time, the Lord exalts you and you're not exalting yourself. You know? That's what a lot of people in our generation is missing, humility.
What do you think young Christians struggle with? What do young people struggle with? Like young Christians, what do you think they're struggling from?
Young Christians struggle with identity. Young Christians struggle with identity. They struggle with waiting on the Lord. They struggle with patience, struggle with their purpose. A lot of young Christians don't know where they're supposed to be in the Lord, so they go somewhere else. Like we talked about, knowing your roles. We can't have the plumber trying to fix our window. That's what's happening in the young church, as I would say. A lot of Christians are out of place because they're not listening to the Lord and they're not in the Word enough.
What do you mean when you say identity?
Identity as in what your role is in the church. Like what is your part? What is your gifts in the church? What are you supposed to be doing?
Now that I'm like in my 40s, I can remember some of the things I had to go through just to kind of like start to grow, and I can remember some of the struggles that I had. I feel like it was a lot of barriers I had to press through coming to Christ, because I had to look at myself up and down and see who I had became in the world. And then, that's based on how I'm talking, based on how I'm thinking, based on my relationships. And then now I'm trying to change the way I dress, I'm trying to change the way I talk. And it's like, as a black boy at that time, it's like if you try to change the way you talking and you try to speak better, now you try to talk like you white.
Yeah, you get talked about, you start talking different. Yeah.
And And then you trying to change the way you dress, but then, you know, at that time in church, everybody was wearing, like, on Sundays, they would be wearing, like, suits and stuff like that. But from Monday through Saturday, you trying to figure out, should I still be buying these Jordans? Should I still be dressing like this?
What are you buying?
Because you only got, like for me, because of the life, you know, just coming from the streets, everything I like look like the streets. But I'm like, I don't need to be exalting that no more, and I need to be changing. But it's almost like, what's the image I'm supposed to look after?
Yeah.
So, you know, I feel like I kind of went through that. So I went through something with my peers, black folks, where they have an expectation for you to be something. And then I went through like a self thing, like, what am I supposed to look like now? What do I supposed to see as fun? Because everything I looked at as fun before was sin.
Right.
So it's like, I don't think bowling is fun at that time. I didn't think doing X, Y, and Z is fun. All my fun was chasing girl, trying to get high, trying to get some money. That was my fun. Yeah. So now it's like, you're trying to find a new fun. You know what I mean? And I didn't really know what to do. I just started jogging. You know what I'm saying? I just started jogging. And staying in the house and reading the word all the time. So that was kind of like, I guess I could say my identity. You know, how do I deal in relationships? You know, like how I was aggressive before in relationships, like always cussing a woman out or just lashing out. But it's like, how do I behave now? What happens when I talk to this girl and she all sarcastic? And now I used to respond like this, but now Jesus is like, bless those that curse you. And I'm like, man, I'm gonna be a sap sucker. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be, you know what I'm saying? Like, if I just let you talk like that to me, and now I'm the nice guy. There was a lot of stuff to navigate. You get what I'm saying? So I feel like navigating something on Sunday is different than all the other elements in your life that you're trying to navigate throughout the week. Like, what kind of music I'm gonna listen to now?
That's
you know what I'm saying?
You hit a nest. That's what a lot of young Christians struggle with. That transition to not listening to worldly carnal music. What are they gonna wear? How are they gonna talk? What are they gonna dress? A lot of young Christians that still walk with the Lord now, they still dress the same. They still glorify the same stuff. A lot of them still want to wear chains. All they do is change the name on it. It may say something else, and now it just says Christ. But it's blinked out, iced out. It's still the same stuff. You want to listen to something that still has the same tune as the carnal, secular music of the world, but you just put Christ on it, so now it's good. I'm still going to wear clothes that simulate to the world, but it's not the world. You know, it's safe. I'm playing it safe. A lot of young Christians want to play it safe because they don't want to go all the way.
And then, I mean, sometimes you say, okay, what's the image of going all the way? Because, like, now we're in a generation where the preachers look like everybody else.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we had an opposing, like, the preachers wore dressed like this and then you dress like this. So if I wanted to be churchy, I knew what I could wear to be churchy.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? But now it's like, you know, on Sunday morning, people don't really dress up anymore. There's no reverence. It's just like kind of come as you are, for real.
Like going to the mall.
So I don't think a young Christian really has anything to look up to in regards to how I should be dressing. Even if Christian women be dressing seductive. So it's like, but God knows my heart. I guess that's
excuse.
That's the mindset. I'm trying to think of the mindset, but I would think that would have to be the mindset. You know what I'm saying? God knows my heart. But I know for me, like even music, I had to kind of navigate like what music to listen to, what rap kind of listen to. I did start to like some gospel music, but I was just used to listening to rap. So I was like trying to like go through the music and see what music is clean. So I would start throwing away all the trap music, and I would listen to Tupac, Jay-Z, and Nas. Because to me, that was the cleaner music, you know what I'm saying? But then when I would hear Nas, he would be blaspheming, and Jay-Z would be blaspheming, and then Tupac would be blaspheming. And the more I got in the word, I could kind of hear the words now. I'm paying attention to the words.
You understand what's being said?
I'm starting to understand what's being said, you know? Like I think Tupac was like, he split the blunt like Moses split the Red Sea.
That's crazy.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
So you start reading about Moses, you're like, that's what he talking about.
That's what he's talking about.
I didn't know he was. And Nas was like Mary was carrying him. He was like baby Jesus.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Be super blasphemous.
Okay, so I didn't know that y'all was blaspheming like this. So I had to start learning the word to start weaning through what I could listen to and what I couldn't listen to. And then when I read the scripture that says, don't listen to the songs of fools, I started to understand, okay, I gotta get rid of all foolishness. It wasn't easy, man, because it was like, I still had this desire to just like, listen to something that's just vibe. And I didn't want to listen to gospel music all the time. I want to listen to it sometime, but when I get in my car, I want to hit my speakers. I didn't want to listen to Shirley Caesar. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to
listen to slow music.
Yeah, and there was some gospel music out, but at that time it was so corny that it was like,
It wasn't it.
it was like, I felt like it was fake thug music. It was like the guy that grew up like in the church, but he's trying to appeal to the thugs, but he don't know he don't sound like the thugs. You know what I'm saying? So it was that kind of music out.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. So, and then it's more disgusting because you came to Christ and you don't like when you see somebody like that, you like
Makes you cringe.
You cringe. You get lame. You cringing. And, you know what I'm saying? It was hard to do. So I think for myself, it was a lot of like outside of relationships. I was already struggling with how to talk, what music to listen to, what I can do. Can I smoke cigarettes? Can I smoke Black and Mild? Can I smoke weed? Can I drink sometimes? What about this relationship? Can I look? I'm still lusting like crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's like boundaries that you don't
it
know.
was all those battles, man. It was all those battles. And it was like all of them right in your face. And I feel like, I hate to say feel when it comes to like truth, you know, but I know as the closer I got to Christ, the more I got the strength to like turn away from fornication, turn away from listening to the music. You know what I'm saying? So, but a big thing that I didn't have was guidance. So if I had guidance, I would grow faster. You know, like it's the same problem that's now that was then, where not a lot of people disciple people. You know what I'm saying? It's like, just go to church, I'll see you, whatever.
See you in a week. I'll see you in a week. Let me go do what I need to do.
I ain't mean to take over that, but you know.
It happens. Like a lot of you hit another nest. That's a lot of things that's in the church right now. A lot of people aren't being discipled. A lot of people they're not for the authority. They don't like being rebuked. Some people like being rebuked, but a lot of people don't like being rebuked. They don't like having people over them. They feel like they read the word a little bit, and the Lord gives them stuff. They receive a little bit. They get bold, go evangelize, gives them some confidence, and now they feel like they're on top of the world. They're ready to disciple people, but you've only been saved for a year and a half, and none of this has been put to the fire.
They think they're right.
Yeah, they think they're right. You're trying to teach it. You're trying to do everything. Now you're ready to start up a ministry and be a pastor. Brother, it's only been 2 years.
It's just zeal.
Yeah, it's zeal. And when it burns out, now you don't want to do it no more. And now you want to chill, but you can't chill because you've already established your own situation on top of your own ego that you built up, because you exalted yourself before it's time, and now you find yourself in a place where you really can't get out of, because you've already established yourself as a leader in the church.
I kind of see it like a group of teenagers that are zealous of the Lord, and they don't teach each other any authority or nothing. They just kind of like, they go out and evangelize. They have a good heart about it. I don't want to demonize them. They read the word, they do Bible studies, and it's like, but within that group, there's no real authority, and there's no real doctrine being taught. Well, I'm wrong on that, because I have seen doctrine being taught, but I see a lot of wrong doctrine being taught. So they are teaching doctrine. It's just wrong, basically.
It's immature.
Yeah,
There's no correction going on. But they can't correct anybody because they don't have anybody over them. So they're all on the same level, and there's nobody above them to correct them if they're wrong. So they wouldn't even know if they're in false doctrine or not. So as far as they're concerned, they're teaching good doctrine.
This is just a generation that we're living in, because it's just not a lot of older women that teach younger women how to be godly, or a lot of older men that teach younger men to be godly, and so on and so forth. So it's like the generation is not like really orderly. Like a lot of times the older people don't want to fool the younger people. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and the younger people feel disconnected from the older people, where they act a certain way when they're in the presence of the older people, but then they really not that person.
Yeah. So all that changes up. Yeah.
So it's just the generation, and all we can do is just trust in the Lord to like to iron us out, basically, to straighten us out. Like the Lord will lead that person to somebody that can pastor them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think the Lord shows grace for a time for a lot of the foolishness that you do in your youth walk with Christ. I think He showed a lot of grace for a time. That grace, I think He's gonna lead you. You know, give you a pastor after His own heart, and it's up for you to submit at that time when that arises. Or if not, then you're gonna put yourself in a place of abuse. You know,
It's really interesting too.
from the Lord. Yeah.
It's interesting because He does do that. Like in that what you said.
They ain't getting their mind is not being renewed by the word. It's kind of like, you know, they'll amen what's being said, and then they'll regress. There's a lot of one step forward and one step back. You know what I'm saying? People ain't really pressing in and you know, establishing what they're building upon. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, you know, as the Lord gives us, you know, it's always gonna be there, right? It's permanent. What the Lord lays down upon His foundation, that's permanent, right? And it's kind of like, you know, every block is perfect, and we need to operate in it, right? I feel like a lot of people, they listen, but they don't know how to discern, you know, the building, right? They're building stubble and they're building hay, and they think it's gold and they think it's silver, and they don't know the difference, right? And the building is all messed up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it needs to be burnt, right, and purified.
Foundation messed up.
Yeah.
I think you said something interesting. I think every Christian on planet Earth takes one step forward and one step back. I really think every single Christian takes one step forward and one step back. And if they're a sincere Christian, they're gonna be in the room crying sometime, and they're gonna go sit down somewhere and they be sick of themselves, and they gonna, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, I prayed so good today, and as soon as I walked out the house, boom, act like a fool. As soon as I went to my job, I act like a fool. As soon as I, you know what I'm saying? So I think that's what I mean by every Christian, I believe, take one step forward, one step back. But I think the next step is the step that is the most important. What do you do after that?
How do you respond?
Yes. How do you respond? Because once you do the right thing in the Lord, now you feel good. Or let's say you go to Bible study, or you have your own Bible study, and you spend time with God, and you finally got the discipline to do it. And then you feel good. And then you go to work, and you say, you cuss at somebody. Like a new Christian.
Yeah.
Only a new Christian should be going through this. You know what I'm saying? You just cuss at somebody, or you just say the wrong thing, or you get involved in the gossip.
Yeah.
And you're like, I didn't do better.
I shouldn't have did that.
shouldn't. You know, you go back in the restroom and you just
feel
like,
bad. Yeah. You feel bad. You're down on yourself.
But what do you do next? I think that's what makes the believer. Is how they respond to their own failures.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? How they respond to their failures. That's what's going to determine if they're going to grow in the Lord. Because if they respond to their failures by going deeper into sin, then they ain't going to grow in the Lord. Because they get depressed and they go back into some level of sin and they fail.
So cycle.
Yeah.
I have a question about that. When you talk about that next step afterwards, how do you feel? Do you feel like, because it's interesting, because if a person goes back to their sin, or they take that one step forward, how do you think the Lord views that? Do you think he shows some love to that to a degree? Like, do you think he rewards you for that noble step forward out of that and taking that step in the right direction, or do you think that's just like, okay, that's standard, you're supposed to be doing that?
I think when you do right, that's only standard. Right?
Yeah,
like,
right.
you've only done what the standard is.
Yeah, you
haven't done anything extra. Like, to love God, it's not like, let me pat you on your back. Bro.
Yeah, like, good job for doing that.
You're naturally supposed to be that.
That makes sense.
But because God is good, sometimes He will reward you for things that should be standard.
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's because if that was the case, if you get rewarded every time, then people would just be doing this the whole time.
But I think that ultimately there is a reward for for walking with the Lord, messing up, and continuing to walk. There is a reward for that, because the Lord will reward for your faithfulness.
That's your faith.
God rewards faithfulness a lot. He rewards that person that got the grit to keep fighting even though they keep failing. That's who's gonna get rewarded.
God bless you.
The person that fight their own sin, like they mourn it because they own sin. Less of those that mourn. They mourn their own self. They get sick of their own self. They don't think high. Like they get to a place they don't think high of themselves no more. God gonna reward that person. You know what I'm saying?
You're humbling yourself.
Because you have to be humble. You finally don't think you are that. And you finally like, okay, Lord, I need your strength. And then you finally get honest with the Lord. Lord, I don't know how I'm gonna make it through this thing right here. Lord, I ain't got no strength. I need you to give me strength, Lord, because I don't know what to do. See, it's a place like a broken spirit. That's where you like. That's where you meet God at. Is when you get to that broken spirit.
It breaks you down to bring you up.
And you depend on His strength now. Because a lot of times you try to live salvation by your own strength. You try to do things within your, like you try to be righteous, but without God's help. If that makes sense. And you don't do it on purpose.
Yeah.
But you just do it.
Right.
You try to like do His will but without His strength. It's like you'll learn one day that it's only by His strength that you do it. It's only by His strength. So
and that's the stone, and that's the silver, and that's the gold, right? And every time we try to go about it once again by our own strength, it's kind of like, how many times do we have to play this game? You know what I'm saying? Like, let that go. You know, just cast that imagination down. It's never worked. It ain't gonna work. Just get rid of it, right? And that comes with maturity. It's kind of like I used to spend a day in that or 2 days in that. I was like, man, I don't want to spend a half a second in that. It's useless and it's pointless and it's vanity. And so that's why I was saying, like, eventually, you know, you start taking 5 steps forward, 1 step back, 10 steps forward.
yeah, it shouldn't be like constantly.
It's not like
one space. So
right. And the Lord built it like that because the Bible said, whom He did foreknow, He also did predestinate to be conformed to the image of His Son. And He take us from glory to glory. And He also say that we are the clay and He is the potter. Do you really think He don't know what He doing? Right? He molding us to His image. He conforming us. We are His workmanship. And so that's why Jesus Christ said, you know, examine yourself. You know, if you ain't present for it, if you're not built upon the precious foundation, which is Christ, my friend, we have a lot of things to talk about. You know, because God is sovereign and God is almighty, and His people will glorify Him. He called out a holy people.
You know, I think that it's natural to take that 1 step forward, 1 step back, but you can't live your whole life like that. So, like some of those things I'm saying, that is new Christian territory. That's like you got saved yesterday, and it's your first 6 months of your walk. And your first 6 months of your walk is pitching. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? But after that, after you kind of go through that, you start taking 3 steps forward. And then maybe not a step back, but kind of neutral sometimes. You should have been strong. When you should have stood for Jesus, you kind of got nervous. You know, but then you got press the past there. That's why I say it's the person that has the grit. Like, Lord, I'm going to follow you. Even though I keep failing, follow you. I'm going to keep going.
And the one who has that grit is because the Lord deposited in them when they got saved. That's kind of,
like, I'm gonna follow. The grit don't come from the flesh, but it is a reality that you live in. And you know what I'm saying? But that comes from God for you to be able to have that perseverance. You be like, even if it's fornication, right? You came to Christ, you know you're going to turn to fornication, you mess around, you try to date, and you put yourself in all the same situations. You stand over the house too late, you go in places where you shouldn't be going, and you fornicate. And then you get caught up for that by 2-3 days.
Yeah.
You might fall into that.
Yeah.
But you gotta shake up out of it.
Keep walking.
And keep walking. You gotta shake up out of it. You gotta kill that relationship, shake up out of it, and show the Lord that He means more to you than even that. You know what I'm saying? Because I know for sure a lot of Christians, they go right back to fornication. Because they come straight from fornication. They come from pornography. They come from not knowing how to be around the opposite sex without touching feelings. So it's these habits that gotta be broken. It's like you got the same habit, so you can't keep putting yourself in the same situation when you know how you respond in the situation. You can't be around no girl house trying to give her a massage. You can't, you know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta watch how you hug. You gotta watch, look, you gotta watch how you do a lot of stuff. So, and you gotta know yourself. I knew when I got saved, I can't be around you like that. Because I knew myself.
You wasn't tuned.
I wasn't tuned to just be in your presence and we're gonna just have small talk.
It's not what you came from when you came to.
And you learning new habits. But you learning your first time being put in that situation, that's the first time.
When you get thrown in the fire.
You dating, that's your first time being back in this experience. So you better not do it the same way you used to do it. You gotta go somewhere and do something so lame. You're gonna be so you in lame because it ain't what you used to do. We finna go to the coffee shop. We finna go to the coffee shop. I'm gonna meet you in the coffee shop. You bring your King James version. You bring my King James version. You know what I'm saying? You gotta do something. It's gonna feel lame, but you gotta do it to walk with the Lord. You know what I'm saying? To stay safe.
Yeah. Me and my wife so square, man. We be having the best time too. It's good, man, honestly.
But see, like you said, the key word, you and your wife.
Yeah.
But when you meet somebody the first time, and you got the girl number, and then now you finna go meet the girl fine, you ain't used to it like that.
Yeah.
The different emotions bumping.
Yeah.
That's when you gotta be smart.
That's why you never try to play his games.
You get married, then the person you get used to the person.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But even if you're trying to have Bible study, you look like, but you can look across the table. You ain't used to it yet. So that means you gotta be careful, you know what I'm saying? Whenever this camera dies, we gone.
You have the longest lasting battery I've
For real?
ever seen. It's 28. It's 28 minutes long.
We gone.
I'm just over here just trying to sleep.
I've never seen it like
I
that.
done took y'all all on the whole rabbit trail.
Close to the cops like, you bring your King James version, I bring
But to me, all that stuff felt lame. Like not to say, okay,
Are they coming from where you came from?
meaning like for a date. Not lame in regards to, I wanted to read the word. When I just got saved, I was like reading the word all the time. So I was big on that. But when you talk about a date, that would be different for me to be like,
That's not what you're used to.
I'm gonna bring my Bible, you bring your Bible, we're gonna be at a coffee shop. That would have been completely outside of the realm of my thinking. You know what I'm saying? So it would have felt weird to me.
Like coffee shop.
And a lot of times it's gonna feel weird to the girl that told you she's a Christian. Because she's really not a Christian. She's just telling you that, and now you talking about bring your King James.
She ain't your range.
I gotta crack the seal.
Yeah, like, let me go buy a Bible. So that's the thing you deal with, like, you dating, even if it's a woman, and she finds some man and he said he's a Christian, he said I'm God-fearing. And she's like, God bless, I finally found a God-fearing man. But he God-fearing except for fornication.
That's the only area where he just like.
He God-fearing everywhere else but there. He ain't really God-fearing, he just, you know what I'm saying? He trying to have some sex right now. But he God-fearing.
right now.
He God-fearing. You know what I'm saying? So she happy, she put herself in a situation thinking she got a God-fearing man. He's setting her up.
The whole track.
And it's the same way for a man. He thinks she got a God-fearing man. And she's setting him up too.
They're really snatching souls. They really, that's what they're doing.
Cause you're like, okay, we're gonna go to coffee shop and I'm gonna wear my shirt that got my whole breast hanging out at the bottom. I'm gonna bring the Bible, but I'm gonna bring these too.
I'm gonna set you up, make you think that we're going on this Christian day. Then I'm gonna seduce you with what I'm wearing. I'm gonna seduce you with my words, my eyes, and things of that nature. Then wear you down eventually to the point where we get in this position where it's vulnerable enough. That's when the strike happens. You get attacked. Now you're in fornication. Now you feel bad, and now it's easier to do it again, and then it's easier to open up more ports to do other things, and now you're just in a cycle of.
Cause all she gonna do is say, "Where you going after this?" So she gonna say, what you get into? It's that easy. That's how weak a man is. What you get into? No, what you get into? You get what I'm saying?
That's why you need a spiritual father to
Yeah.
put you on game. Cause like, oh, I don't know. Like if you really got that innocence, and then they take you to that
Oh,
place.
I don't know.
Huh?
Who said, oh, I don't know.
No, cause some people they grow up in the church, they really innocent like
Yeah.
that, and they dealing with a whole Jezebel.
I hope that they're gonna take them out the game.
They don't know like the tricks of the devil. Cause the devil, you just came to Christ. Satan mad, so he finna fight tooth and nail
About to get you about
to
that.
get you back on the side before you come into maturity.
But as soon as you get baptized, and they see you on that, oh no, he doing too good. Let me get him up out of there.
Because he gotta keep you neutered. The easiest way to make a man of God a nothing is to neuter him. Meaning keep him bound to sex. Keep him bound to sex and you got him. He's nothing.
He's
He's nothing. He has no fortitude. Sex got him. He's castrated. No power.
Like a Herod.
Yeah.
Like a Herod.
He gonna always be subject to it. He gonna be always given over to he's gonna always be given over to it. So that's what Satan do. He just throw sex in your face and he'll make you nothing to God.
And that's crazy too, because it's on the explore. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't get around it. You gotta put it all away.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Social media nowadays. That's what that goes back to something. You don't have Christians on your feed, you have Christians on the internet, then you have nothing but evil. It's just nothing but madness. It's nothing but fornication, sex, money, drugs, everything being promoted if you don't have believers on the internet. Which is why believers
And it's important. It's important that believers be on the internet because when people get saved, let's say we out here street preaching, and we speak to so many people, right? But they don't all join the ministry. They go left, right, everywhere, right? So it might be a year before they get a pastor. So it's important that they run across an online minister or a preacher, somebody that can keep sowing to them the word of God until God can hold them over to get them a church, get them a pastor. So these people are very important, The ones that teach the word are very important. Obviously, we know there's some fake people. We not talking about that, But even God will use somebody that's got bad doctrine. He still build you up with them a little bit.
And it's interesting you say that. It goes back to what we were talking about with Transformation Church. Although a lot of people don't believe that is a good, place to go and things of that nature because of things that happened in the past. I don't want to speak too much on it. The Lord will place you there because He may be giving you something that you may need in that season, and it'll propel you.
He gonna move you.
Yeah,
He gonna move you. Yeah.
Right there in that season, He's feeding you because that's baby food.
It's the baby food. And he gonna make you outgrow him.
Yeah.
He gonna make you outgrow him. Cause he, like the guy, if somebody's like this, like him, like Todd, the Lord ain't gonna let you be with him long. Not if you belong to the Lord. He love you too much to let somebody like play on your mind and keep you low like that and not let you really grow in God.
Yeah.
He treat his congregation like they kids. He on trampolines. He imagine a grown man sitting in the congregation and this man jumping on a trampoline, getting his hair braided or something like that on stage. So God is not going to keep his people in that level of foolishness for long, but he will allow you to get some strength there. It's just like some of these gospel songs, they're very weak. But the Lord will let them become your favorite song in the beginning. And he'll allow you to worship him and you'll feel his presence. And then when you start to learn more about God, you say, God, this ain't even right. But he uses it. So when people online preaching, it's very valuable, And people need to, and you can see how but the people need to, they need to honor these men of God that labor in the word. They need to honor them because these are the ones that God placed to watch over your soul and to pray over your soul. And some of these men don't even know the viewers or the watchers. We're talking about just online ministries. But they pray before they do what they do. God touches people. God blesses people. God raises people up. So you don't know the level of intercession they're doing for the people that watch what they're putting forth. And when they're putting it forth, God is blessing these people and growing them up. So if you're getting sold into like that, you should show your appreciation because that person could be gone in a month because he's not receiving any funds and he got to go back to work. He's not making no money. He's trying to serve God, but he's in a conflict. He's conflicted.
that lady, she wanted to treat Elijah like a king. She wanted to build him a room, have him some food, give him some peace, no disturbing. I mean, the Lord bless her, man. He gave her a son. He gave her, that oil, right?
Yeah. Because that's, she was trying to honor him.
God, right?
He's out, bless those that bless you. And she went the extra step just to make sure. And that's not if you're watching all these random people. But if you got somebody that's they're really solid to you, you really got high respect for them, and you really legit always watching them and communicating. You're gonna show some appreciation.
Yeah, show some love, some appreciation.
Find out how you can support them. Find out, because sometimes even if their bills are like banging them across their head, the little support will still bless them so much. Like in their heart, they feel like, man, thank you, God.
It'd be right on time.
Yeah. It could be $50 out of, $50 is nothing when it comes to all the bills.
Yeah.
But that make them like,
that
that
$50 came
encourage
from the
them.
Lord.
That encourage them,
Keep going, because to them that $50 came from the Lord, and the Lord put that on the giver's heart to give to them, and that encourages that person to keep going and keep feeding the people, because you're getting fed when you're watching this person in that season that you're in. When you're in that season and you watch this person, they're feeding you. That's the person that's essentially above you. That's your ministry at that point, because that person's spreading the gospel, breaking doctrine off of you, and feeding you where you're at, because you don't have anybody above you. So when you're under that person and you're giving to them, that encourages that person to keep going, and it grows their ministry and keeps them to press forward. And that's what keeps the evil. It doesn't keep the evil off the internet, but it keeps it flushed out.
It gives you a refuge.
Yeah.
It allows, evil always going to be the world, but it gives you a refuge, and other Christians a place of refuge where they can come get the word, and they come get the sincere doctrine, and they can come and get imparted into in their spirit through the Holy Ghost that's working in that person, So you keep that person encouraged, and they can feel like they can focus on the Lord more. Everybody wins. Everybody wins. You win, the person wins, they grow their ministry, you grow in your faith and